Tune Review Print Speaking to the Blind, celebrating 40 years of audio newspaper production. Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast, recorded at the Bishopbriggs Media Centre by our amazing volunteers. You can get in touch with us via Facebook, Twitter or Instagram using @TuneReview. That is @CUEANDREVIEW. You can also contact us directly by emailing information@tunereview.com. That is INFORMATION@CUEANDREVIEW.com, or by calling 0141 772 3976. That's 0141 772 3976.
Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald published on the 8th of March 2023, read to you today by volunteers Alan, Corey, Hunter and Ian. Reese is a special boy. Report by Morag Cook and read today by me, Ian. The Royal Hospital for Children in Glasgow is celebrating its 300th successful kidney transplant operation. Reese Sinclair, 11, was the recipient of the kidney, which was provided by an anonymous live donor. After years of dialysis, Reese and his family have thanked the team at the RHC and the donor for changing his life. Just 1 month on from his transplant, Reese's recovery has been remarkable and he cannot wait to get back swimming in the coming weeks. His mum Mary, from Kirkintilloch, said, "The staff here for us are family. Reese has been here since he was a baby. They have been absolutely amazing. We would also like to thank the person who decided to donate their kidney. We can't describe how big an impact it has had in Reese's life. We can't thank them enough for this." When Reese was born, he didn't have properly formed kidneys. One was too big and the other was too small. He also had bladder issues which caused urine infections and scarring on the kidneys. Throughout the years, we monitored his condition and leveled things out through diet and medication that lasted for a good few years, along with surgery. In recent years, he was on dialysis, some of which was 3 days a week and on the ward. It was a scary time, but in January this year, he received his new kidney from a live donor. It's very important that people donate their organs if they can. It's changed his life and the lives of the whole family. It's been amazing. I didn't expect him to recover so quickly. The day after his surgery, he looked so different, he looked so well. He's been unrestricted to his diet since he was 3, so him being able to eat things that everyone else is having is amazing. It's those small things that also make a huge difference. The transplant programme started in children's hospitals in Glasgow back in 1977, and this landmark figure is also the first national kidney sharing scheme transplant at the RHC. Dr. Ben Reynolds, paediatric kidney specialist, said, "I've known Reese for so many years, and his transformations to having his transplant is remarkable. What's even more special about Reese is he is the first patient we have had who has received a kidney through the sharing scheme." This week in history. March the 8th, 1910, the first pilot's licences were granted. The Royal Aero Club granted licence number 1 to J.T.C. Moore Brabazon, later Lord Brabazon of Tara. On this day last year, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky delivered a historic address to the House of Commons, beamed into the chamber via a live link. March the 9th, 1956, Britain deported Archbishop Makarios from Cyprus for actively fostering terrorism. March the 10th, 1914, the Rogby Venus by Velázquez in London's National Gallery was damaged by suffragettes. On this day last year, Little Amal, a 3.5 metre partly animatronic refugee puppet, laid flowers outside the Ukrainian embassy in London in a show of support. March 11, 1925, No No Nanette was premiered at the Palace Theatre London with Binny Hale playing Nanette. March the 12th, 1941, The original incident used in Compton Mackenzie's Whisky Galore occurred in the Hebrides, when a cargo ship ran aground with their holds full of whisky. Islanders had 250,000 bottles from the customs officers. On this day last year, research said energy bills would rise at 14 times faster than wages this year. March 13, 1947, the government announced a midweek ban on sport to try to boost productivity. Video is on top. More than 80% of patients using the NHS GGC's virtual A&E service have opted for a video consultation ahead of telephone, as the public embraces the benefits of virtual emergency care. The virtual A&E service, which has now seen more than 35,000 patients in total, provides direct video and telephone consultations with an emergency care practitioner, allowing medical assessment, advice and ongoing treatment when necessary, often with the patient never having to visit a physical A&E. Patients who receive video consultations tend to receive faster treatment decisions. Dr. Scott Davison, Deputy Medical Director for Acute Service, said, "We continue to urge patients who need urgent care advice to avoid A&E unless life-threatening, and to consider accessing the virtual service by calling NHS 24 on 111.
School leavers topped the table. A record 98.9% of school leavers from Eastern Bartonshire are in positive destinations, according to new statistics from the Scottish Government. The local area topped the table of the 32 local authorities areas across Scotland, with an incredible 1,412 pupils from a total 1,427 leavers heading to work, education or further training after leaving school. Of these leavers, a record 25.1% had secured employment, the highest number since records began. The statistics also show a further reduction in the overall attainment gap across Scotland, with the gap between school leavers from the most and least deprived areas progressing after school narrowing to a record low of 4.4 percentage points. MSP Rona Mackay said, "These record-breaking figures show the Scottish Government's education recovery plan is working, and young people in Eastern Bartonshire are continuing to succeed despite unprecedented challenges in recent years. Education is a clear priority for the SNP Scottish Government, and I am delighted that 98.9% of young people in Eastern Bartonshire have secured a place in further education or employment 3 months after leaving school, topping the table of the 32 local authority areas in Scotland. These encouraging numbers are a testament to the hard work and dedication of all Eastern Bartonshire teachers, parents and of course young people, and is something everyone in the community should be proud of." Read by Alan Todd.
MP celebrates creative talent of local pupils, as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Eastern Bartonshire MP Amy Callaghan visited Thomas Muir and Wester Cletton's primary schools to award certificates to children who took part in her Eco Superhero poster competition. As well as congratulating the 3 winners, Miss Callaghan handed out highly commended and commended certificates to pupils. Miss Callaghan said she was blown away by the talent on show and was delighted by the response from local schools. Over 250 local children took part in the competition that was launched to raise awareness of the climate crisis and other environmental issues. Layla Finn, an 11-year-old pupil at Wester Cletton's primary school, was announced as the overall winner of the competition. The 2 other winners were Emily Walker, who came out top of the younger age group, and Emma Zhao won the older age group. Miss Callaghan said, "It was great to meet all the amazing young people who took part in my poster competition. They showed off their talent and really got to grips with the theme. The climate crisis may be the biggest issue our younger generations will face in their lifetimes, so it's important we give them an opportunity to explore this topic. That's why learning for sustainability is part of the curriculum, and it's why I wanted to run this poster competition. The response from schools went way beyond my expectations, and I'm looking forward to running another poster competition later in the year."
Mayfest is reduced in size for 23. Lack of support for the Campsie Mayfest has meant organisers will have to deliver a trimmed down version of events this year. Since the COVID lockdown ended, organisers say the popular festival has seen an appalling fall off in support for its festivals of music and art, with only £300 donated for the Village Hall Trust from last year's Winterfest, less than half the usual total. Campsie Festival Association Coordinator Dr John Hinton says there is a lack of education in music and art in the east side of Dumbartonshire, while it is supported much more in Milngavie and the surrounding area, where the people pay for this education. We strongly support Nicola Benedetti's campaign for free and effective music education in schools, he said. Unfortunately, the arts don't provide schools with the required brownie points. We are very disheartened as our efforts are largely ignored by the local populace. I would say that the people may have become COVID couch potatoes. The Campsie Mayfest has had to be trimmed, so for the first time there will be no art exhibition and no music performances, with one exception. CFA is determined to again promote the children's stage performance of music and dance, thanks to Michael Boyle, the organiser of the event. Also, the Campsie Countryside Walk, which ends with coffee and folk music on the platform of the restored station, will take place. Campsie Mayfest will start at 10 a.m. on Saturday, May 13th, with the Campsie Countryside Walk, while the Young Folk on stage performance will take place at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday, May 14th. Dr Hinton added, "We do what we can and we hope and expect to have a somewhat larger festival with concerts at the end of the year."
Budget is laid bare. East Dumbartonshire Council has responded to the biggest funding shortfall in its history by setting a budget that includes a 5% council tax increase. The council needed to find £20.6 million to meet its current expenditure, and the 5% tax increase, which was agreed unanimously by councillors, will raise £1.37 million, while Band D homeowners will have to pay an extra £67.41 per year. Council leader Gordon Lowe said, "No one likes any increase in council tax, but 5%, which is significantly below the current rate of inflation, brings in much needed additional income. And we have mitigated the impact on the hardest pressed in our communities by putting a further £1.5 million into ongoing cost of living support measures. That is on top of the £2.1 million already committed this financial year." Our approach to council tax and the cost of living support has been directly informed by the responses we received to our Have Your Say consultation exercise. And community engagement and participation is absolutely at the heart of the decisions we are making. The measures included in the cost of living package include pensioner support, the Homelessness Hardship Fund, community grants, free leisure services for young people, household support payments, and an extension of the doubled school clothing grant. The rest of the funding gap will be drawn from reserves and the increasing efficiency of the council's services. Councillor Lowe added, "Our budget decisions were informed by Have Your Say consultation. We asked for views on council tax increases and feedback on our cost of living package, and our budget decisions are based on the feedback we receive. We will continue to engage with our communities as we transform council services, ensuring that it is efficient and effective as possible, and that we are addressing our cost of living and climate emergency challenges in the process." The capital programme was also agreed with a corporate asset plan and climate action plan to be finalised later in the year. Projects featured in the plan include a £3 million recycling centre, a £1 million extension to Cadder Cemetery in Bishopbriggs, a further £1 million to improve roads and footpaths. Feasibility studies on replacing 4 primary schools will also be carried out. Councillor Lowe added, "We have agreed to ensure that the feasibility study we have committed to for a new build Western Primary School at the Western Hall and Library site will also include the option to decant, demolish and rebuild on the current site. These 2 options will be shared with the school and wider Westerton community through our established processes." Council tenants will see rents increase by 4.2%, making the average weekly amount £83.76. The agreed housing capital budget for 2023-24 is £20.98 million, which includes £7.4 million to improve energy efficiency in council houses, £6.68 million on new housing, £3.34 million on buying homes from developers, and £3.1 million to buy homes on the open market. Pupils turn tables on their MP. Local MP Amy Callaghan is used to asking questions in the House of Commons, but the tables were turned in her recent visit to Turnbull High School. The SNP MP for East Dunbartonshire was taking questions from S5 and S6 Modern Studies pupils at the Bishopbriggs School, speaking about everything from parliamentary scrutiny to life as an MP. Schools are encouraged to promote participation in political, economic, social and cultural life as part of the Curriculum for Excellence, with a key theme to encourage young people to become responsible citizens. Ms Callaghan said she was excited to take questions from pupils, and she pointed to the importance of engaging young people in politics. Over recent months, Turnbull High School has run several projects to promote parliamentary democracy, including running an electoral registration in the school lunch hall for all eligible pupils. Young people can vote in Scotland from the age of 16, although the age remains 18 for UK elections. Commenting, Ms Callaghan said, "Young people can vote from the age of 16 in Scotland. That's why it's so important we speak to our younger constituents to hear their views, answer their questions and encourage them to play an active role in political life. In fact, young people are often highly engaged in local issues, and they are affected as much by anyone by challenges like the cost of living crisis. As anyone who spends any time with young people will tell you, they're not afraid to speak their mind." That's exactly how the session went, and I hope the S5 and S6 pupils left knowing a bit more about the intricacies and challenges of being an MP. It was great to see the fantastic work that is going on at Turnbull High School, and I would love to return soon to face another grilling.
Payment support. More than 2,400 children in East Dunbartonshire have benefited from the Scottish Child Payment since it was introduced according to new figures released by the Scottish Government. Since the scheme's inception in February 2021, a total of £1.65 million has been paid out in the area. The full rollout has been described as a watershed moment in tackling poverty in Scotland. MSP Rona Mackay said, "I am delighted that these new figures show a significant uptake in families being supported by the Scottish Child Payment in East Dunbartonshire. This flagship payment underlines the SNP Scottish Government's unwavering commitment to tackling child poverty, particularly as the Tory cost of living crisis deepens. Only independence gives Scotland the full powers to tackle poverty at source."
Allender Centre has reopened. The first phase of the new Allender Leisure Centre reopened on Monday, March 6th, as part of a £42.5 million investment by East Dunbartonshire Council. The overall project, which involves the construction of a new sports dome offering 2 football pitches and a tennis court, is expected to be completed by autumn 2023. Patrons will notice changes to the 25-metre 8-lane pool, which has been gradually filled with 637,500 litres of water, a delicate process which began at the end of 2022. Water and heat had to be added slowly to ensure tiles remained undamaged. A pool pod has also been installed, which will allow people with mobility challenges to access the water using a wheelchair or step. Diving blocks are in place, and the 20-metre 3-lane training pool has also been filled with a movable floor that can descend to 2 metres, allowing it to cater for all ages. In addition, static bikes have been installed in the ICG Connect indoor cycling studio, and the 100 station gym will offer state-of-the-art equipment and inspiration to help patrons achieve their fitness goals. Meanwhile, the hydrotherapy pool has also been filled and is ready for use by people with learning disabilities, families with young babies, and people with mobility issues. The demolition process is underway at the old Allender, which is next door, with restricted parking in the meantime. In addition, there is a new support facility for adults with learning disabilities, replacing Kelvinbank Resource Centre in Kirkintilloch, which opens on March 9th. Commenting, Jim Neal, chair of EDLCT, said, "I want to thank everyone for their patience during the handover from the old to the new Allender. Complex utility works have been taking place and safety is paramount. I'm delighted to say that Phase 1 is nearly complete and excitement is building as we look forward to welcoming our first customers." Councillor Gordon Lowe, leader of the council, added, "This significant capital investment will benefit people across Eastern Bartonshire. Sessions can now be booked 7 days in advance online or on 0141 777 3070. That's 0141 777 3070.
Mental Health Campaign. Centenary plea from SAMH. The Scottish Association for Mental Health, SAMH, is kicking off its centenary year by calling on people across the country to stand up for mental health. The charity, which predates the NHS, marked 100 years of supporting Scotland's mental health by hosting 100 colleagues and supporters at the historic Paisley Abbey, home of the organisation's founder. Guests heard directly from people who have benefited from SAMH services, as well as staff and the charity's ambassador, Sir Chris Hoy. SAMH traces its roots back to 1923 and the pioneering work of Dr. Kate Fraser CBE, a Scottish psychiatrist who, at a time when women were expected to remain in the home and mentally ill people were routinely shut away in workhouses or prisons, dedicated her life to improving the conditions and treatment of people with mental health problems. It has since grown to employ 550 staff and operate more than 70 services in communities across Scotland, spanning employment, horticultural, supported accommodation, peer support and suicide prevention. In 2022, SAMH supported almost 25,000 people with their mental health and well-being. The charity is now encouraging people across Scotland to join its centenary celebrations and make this a year to do something for Scotland's mental health. Its centenary hub has suggestions, from hosting get-togethers and participating in fundraisers to joining the campaign for better mental health and making time for your own well-being. A packed year of engagements and events will recognise SAMH's history and look to its future priorities, including 2 public lectures focused on key strategic priorities this year, with the first, dedicated to suicide prevention, taking place in May. Billy Watson, SAMH Chief Executive, said, "We are so proud that for 100 years SAMH has been here for Scotland's mental health. With heartfelt thanks for the enduring contribution from colleagues, campaigners, fundraisers, partners and supporters, we can celebrate this milestone and use it as a catalyst to make our mental health a national priority and drive further positive change." Thankfully, society has come a long way since SAMH first formed all those years ago, but there is so much left to do. The primary focus in our centenary year, outlined in our We Won't Wait strategy, is on transformational change to help people in communities access the support they need the first time they ask. A century on, SAMH keeps Dr. Fraser's vision alive every day, and we will continue to play our part in supporting the mental health of the nation. To find out more about the centenary year and how you can play a part in celebrating the milestone, visit the special hub on the charity's website at www.samh.org.uk/about-us/centenary. How you can help. There are plenty of ways to get involved in the centenary celebrations, no matter where you live in Scotland. SAMH has created a special hub on its website with a centenary toolkit which can be easily downloaded from the site. It is packed full of suggestions of how you can join #TeamSAMH and make 2023 the year you do something for Scotland's mental health. The charity's centenary strategy, created at a time of mental health crises in Scotland, aims to help people access support at the first time of asking, encourage open conversations around mental health, and support more employers to build brilliant, safe places to work.
Care service delay is welcome respite. The law to introduce a national care service in Scotland is to be delayed until after the SNP leadership contest. It was expected to be debated and voted on at Holyrood for the first time on March 17th. However, progress on the National Care Service Scotland Bill is being delayed until June. All three SNP leadership candidates, Health Secretary Humza Yousaf, who introduced the bill, former Community Minister Ash Regan, and Finance Secretary Kate Forbes, have said they will revisit the plans if they become First Minister. The new service is intended to end the postcode lottery around access to care and would see a series of regional care boards set up that would operate in the same way as health boards. Government ministers would be directly responsible for social care services instead of local councils, with 75,000 social work and social care staff across Scotland transferring to the new bodies. However, concerns have been aired about the costs involved in setting up and running the new service and the implications for local decision making. The Scottish Government initially said it would cost up to £500 million to deliver the new service, but Scottish Parliament researchers have estimated that the total bill over 5 years could be between £664 million and £1.26 billion. The Royal College of Nursing had already written to Minister for Mental Wellbeing and Social Care Kevin Stewart and all three leadership candidates, calling for the legislation to be paused. Colin Pullman, RCN Scotland Director, said, "The RCN has serious concerns about the bill, which lacks basic details around how the NCS will operate, how it will work alongside the NHS, or even a clear definition of what functions it will be responsible for. However, simply pausing until June is not sufficient. Ministers must take time to engage with stakeholders and develop detailed plans before taking forward legislation." Tracy Dilling, Unison Scotland's Regional Secretary, also welcomed the news. She said, "Unison is not against a national care service, but this isn't it. The current bill leaves profit at the very heart of service provision. We want to work with the next First Minister to help build a national care service that's worthy of the name." It'll Cost You campaign ready to be rolled out. A successful campaign to reduce street drinking and disorder will be rolled out to more towns and cities across Scotland this year. The It'll Cost You campaign to deter adults buying alcohol for minors was developed by the Scottish Alcohol Industry Partnership, SAIP, Police Scotland and Community Alcohol Partnerships. It ran through the summer of 2022, the first time the campaign, a mix of social and traditional media and consumer engagement in targeted areas across Scotland, had been delivered nationally. Asking an adult to buy alcohol for under 18s is one of the most common tactics used by young people to access alcohol. The Licensing Scotland Act 2005 states that it is an offence for a person to act as an agent for a child in purchasing or attempting to purchase alcohol. This is also known as proxy purchase. An evaluation of the summer 2022 campaign showed it was an effective way to communicate the consequences of buying alcohol for minors and demonstrated the benefits of partnership working between retailers and Police Scotland. Community alcohol partnerships will also utilise the campaign in areas where it operates in Scotland to help reduce alcohol harm among children and young people. Superintendent Hilary Sloan, Police Scotland, said, "We welcome the evaluation report into last summer's It'll Cost You proxy purchasing campaign. Protecting vulnerable people is one of our top priorities, and this includes protecting young people from the associated risks of alcohol. We know that vulnerability increases when alcohol is a factor, and this vulnerability is heightened in young people. This campaign showcases the benefit of key partners working together and utilises each other's resources to inform the public of dangers associated with underage drinking, as well as the criminal consequences for supplying those under 18 with alcohol. Proxy purchasing is an offence which can result in a fine, a prison sentence, or both. Please do not risk it. I look forward to continue working with our partners to build on the campaign's success in 2023. Luke McGarty, Scottish Grocers Federation Head of Policy and Public Affairs, is delighted to be supporting the campaign. He said, Reducing underage drinking and anti-social behaviour linked to alcohol is one we support and ties in with our position of promoting responsible community retailing. Graham Clark, Community Alcohol Partnership Advisor for Scotland, worked closely with Police Scotland and its youth volunteers to ensure the message was delivered last year and is looking forward to doing likewise again this year. He said, "The campaign gave CAP an opportunity to carry the "it'll cost you" resources and messaging in local communities, highlighting the dangers of buying alcohol for young people." Community Safety Minister Elena Whittam, MSP, added, "The Scottish Government remains committed to protecting young people from harm. Purchasing alcohol for someone under 18 is a criminal offence. We are pleased to support collective efforts to help reduce these offences."
Family announcements. Deaths. Campbell, Jean. Sadly, at Westerton Care Home, Jean, formerly of Laburnum Grove, much loved and respected aunt and great-aunt. Funeral service to take place on Tuesday, March 21st, 2023, at St Mary's Parish Church at 10:30am, and thereafter to Daldowie Crematorium, arriving at 11:30am. Martin, David Dewar. Peacefully after a short illness on February 24th, 2023, at Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. A much-loved husband of the late Margaret and loving dad of Alan and David. Funeral service will take place on Monday, March 13th, 2023, at Daldowie Crematorium for 2:30pm. Family flowers only please, donations, if desired, to the British Heart Foundation. In Memoriam. Heart, Sadie. In loving memory of our wee pal, Sadie, brackets, the lady, who died March 10th, 2001. Also Jessie, Cable, Mabel, Isabel, Helen, CDW and Maureen. You all gave so much to others, even though all your own pain. You told no one your sorrows, and carried on till the end. Truly the Golden Girls, brackets of charity, inserted by Betty.
Holyrood View by Rona Mackay, MSP. End of funding for clinical trials at the Beatson Institute. Last year, the people of Scotland raised more than £24 million for Cancer Research UK, CRUK. Latest studies have also shown that Scotland has a higher rate of sign-up to clinical trials than the rest of the UK. So the news of the withdrawal of funding by CRUK to the world-class Beatson Institute Clinical Trials Unit, which has its base at Garscough campus in Bearsden, has come as a real shock. It is terrible news, not just for my constituency, but for the whole of Scotland. Just last week, I had the pleasure of meeting Professors Gareth Inman and John Lequizine, whose vital work at the Beatson Institute has centred on understanding the genes, pathways and processes that drive cancer disease progression, with particular focus on pancreatic cancer. I am in awe of the passion, knowledge and dedication of inspirational researchers at the Beatson to develop new treatments and help improve the lives of people with cancer. It is disappointing the 7 sites CRUK has opted to fund are all in the south of England. This includes a new base at Oxford. The Beatson focuses on real solutions and outcomes involving real people. CRUK London focuses on basic science, which is important, but does not offer the same option for patients here. The charity says its decision to withdraw funding from the Beatson will not deny Scottish cancer patients access to clinical trials, but it's bad enough coping with cancer physically and mentally without having to travel hundreds of miles. The selflessness of cancer patients in Scotland also knows no bounds. During my visit to the Beatson, I learned that for some, the research may be too late for them personally, but they take part in the clinical trials nevertheless, in hope that others will benefit in the future. I have joined fellow MSPs across the west of Scotland in penning a joint letter to the CRUK urging it to reconsider. I sincerely hope it will. My constituency office is open 9:30am to 4:30pm, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. My team can help with any issue on 0141 776 1561 or email rona.mackay.msp@parliament.com. More information is available at my website www.ronamackay.scot. Let's talk. Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald letters page. Wednesday the 8th of March 2023. Now Swinney has opted out. Sir. So that nice Mr. Swinney is, like Nicola Sturgeon, opting out of government irrespective of who wins the SNP leadership contest. It can't give party members much confidence when so many big guns either opt out of government or opt out of standing for the leadership. John Swinney, Angus Robertson and Keith Brown are all conspicuous by their reluctance to step forward. No one at Westminster is seemingly interested, and, in addition, there is a whole swathe of party notables who stood down at the Scottish elections last year. It doesn't seem there is any history-making constitutional vote imminent, otherwise they would all have wanted to have been a part of it. It seems as if the years of playground politics are coming to a head, and the SNP is running out of road. There are just too many issues closing in on them, and they can't keep up the pretense any longer. We all thought Sturgeon herself would have had to be dragged kicking and screaming from office, but she went pretty quickly, with no real analysis of the reasons why yet. Of course, the opposition aren't that much better, and are unlikely to displace them anytime soon, so the best we can hope for is that one of their leadership candidates recognises the reality of the situation, and tries to concentrate on the job in hand. If that's not possible, may we have an election in May please, and we can chance our luck with somebody else? Yours etc. Victor Clements. Address supplied. Had to have the label. Sir, the SNP's deposit return scheme, conveniently passed to the feckless Greens, is proving to be a rerun of the census fiasco. They could not simply accept in each case a UK-wide system would benefit all. They had to have a Scottish label, at whatever cost, and certainly in the case of returning containers, economic self-harm. Other countries have introduced the system with the minimum of fuss or disruption, but when nationalism and nationalists get into control and insist on Scotification of any plan, the reverse Midas syndrome kicks in, and it is a certain disaster. They could not be seen to be working and cooperating with the rest of the UK, could they? Yours etc. Alexander Mackay, by email. Scheme will be washout. Sir, Scotland Deposit Return Scheme is aiming to achieve a 90% target for recycling drinks containers, glass, plastic cans, which is clearly a good thing. However, the existing glass recycling rate in the UK is 75%, British glass. So why has glass been included? Will the local councils remove bottle banks and stop curbside glass collections? If they do, what will happen to glass jars and bottles not included in the DRS? Will they go in general waste and reduce glass recycling? Why not exclude glass from DRS, as will be the case in England, to simplify the system? For plastic bottles and cans, then, the most convenient system is to collect these from the consumer's home, as councils are compelled to do. Folk not bothering to do this are unlikely to wash out their empties and take them off to a recycling point, especially if they need to travel by bus, bike, or on foot. Does this scheme not just encourage the use of the car for those who have one, and make life difficult for those who don't? With the increased use of supermarket deliveries, it might have taken an idea to have the take-back system, whereby online sellers collect empties, June 2025, working at launch. If you collect up to a week or two of containers to return them to a retailer in bulk, they don't have to accept them. The operator can refuse to accept scheme packaging if the container is soiled, broken, not empty, or not identifiable as being part of the scheme. The return point is full of waiting for collection or uplift, or a consumer attempts to return more empty scheme containers than the number of drinks normally sold in a single transaction, SEPA regulations. So, after years of crushing cans, squashing plastic to fit more in our home recycling, we now wash the undamaged empties so they can be returned, which encourages more water use, washing, more car use, and requires an additional fleet of recycling transport vehicles. The other issue raised is littering, but would this not be solved more easily with the provision of adequate, frequently emptied public waste bins and recycling bins combined with a campaign to educate folk? Drinks purchased from a kiosk or similar already come at a higher price than a supermarket, so will the consumer really notice the extra 20p? Yours, etc., Chris Ricks, address supplied. Coronation Awards for 500 volunteers. To celebrate the coronation of His Majesty the King, the Royal Voluntary Service, RVS, has launched the Coronation Champions Awards for volunteers. With the support of Her Majesty the Queen Consort, a passionate advocate of volunteering and RVS President, the awards will recognise the exceptional volunteers across the country. Aiming to celebrate and inspire the next generation of volunteers, nominations are open to people aged 14 and over, with judges on the lookout for rising stars and its young coronation champions aged 14 to 18. Her Majesty the Queen Consort said, "I am delighted to be launching the Coronation Champions Awards with the Royal Voluntary Service to shine a light on the Herculean efforts of our nation's volunteers. Up and down the country, millions of unsung heroes are contributing to their local communities, giving generously of their time and their talents to enhance the lives of others. If you know a volunteer who is making a difference, please be sure to share their story. We would love to hear about them." Volunteering has been identified as a key component of the coronation celebrations. In tribute to His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen Consort's own public service, the awards invite people to nominate the volunteering heroes in their lives who are going the extra mile. To recognise volunteers from a wide range of causes, RVS is seeking nominations in 8 award categories: supporting older people, supporting young people and children, crisis and welfare, community, sports, culture and heritage, health and care, sustainability and the environment, and animal welfare. A total of 500 volunteers will be selected to receive a specially designed Coronation Champions pin and a certificate signed by Her Majesty the Queen Consort. All champions will be invited to attend one of the official coronation celebrations, such as the Windsor Castle Coronation Concert or a Coronation Garden Party. Catherine Johnson, RVS Chief Executive, said, "Our volunteers are amongst the millions of big-hearted people who are doing incredible work in their communities every single day. Together with Her Majesty the Queen Consort, we are honouring remarkable volunteers from all backgrounds, from all over the UK, and from a range of causes, who have made a real difference in recent years. I know from experience that volunteers don't do what they do for praise or glory, but I also know they absolutely deserve it. The coronation is the perfect time for us to come together and really show volunteers just how much we appreciate everything they do. Be sure to nominate your local heroes, as these awards are a wonderfully exciting opportunity for deserving volunteers to be commended and part of history in the making." Reviewed by an expert judging panel, nominees will be judged on their impact, initiative, inspiration and involvement in volunteering over the past 5 years. Nominate a volunteer by April the 2nd at www.royalvoluntaryservice.org.uk/coronation-champions-awards.
Sleeper services to remain on track. Caledonian sleeper services will be provided by the Scottish Government from the expiry of the current franchise on June 25th this year. Minister for Transport Jenny Gilruth has announced that services will be provided by an arm's-length company owned and controlled by the Scottish Government in line with its statutory operator of last resort duty. She said, "Having stated in October that the existing Caledonian sleeper franchise would come to an end in June, I want to give rail staff and passengers as much certainty as I can about the future. With the sleeper franchise ending on June 25th, we have carefully assessed the options for successor arrangements in accordance with the current legislative framework. The decision has been taken following a detailed analysis of the options available. With uncertainty regarding market conditions, travel behaviours and ongoing UK rail reform, it was decided that a direct award was not viable and that sleeper services should instead be provided by the Scottish Government in line with their operator of last resort duty. That is why I have confirmed that from the expiry of the current franchise, Caledonian Sleeper services will be provided through Scottish Rail Holdings, a company wholly owned and controlled by the Scottish Government. This is in line with our operator of last resort duty. Caledonian Sleeper staff will transfer to the new Scottish Government-owned entity with their terms and conditions protected. This approach will provide a stable platform for sleeper services and certainty for passengers and staff.
Get informed to better tackle ailments. NHS 24 is promoting new musculoskeletal MSK resources and advice on Scotland's health website NHS Inform. Updated information explains how to manage MSK conditions and injuries such as back pain, twisted ankles and knee problems, as well as details on when to seek further medical help. Laura Neal, NHS 24 Allied Health Professions Lead, said, "If you have sustained an injury due to a fall or you have an ongoing condition that affects your muscle, bone or joints, NHS Inform should be your first point of reference for accurate and trusted advice." This fantastic resource is available 24/7 and is regularly reviewed by clinicians to ensure that all guidance is relevant and up to date. NHS 24 111 service receives an average 12,000 calls per month regarding MSK conditions. Approximately 20% of calls result in self-care advice, where the condition can be effectively managed at home without the need to further consult a health professional. NHS Inform's updated MSK pages include self-managed advice for the ankle, back, calf, elbow, foot, hip, knee, neck, shoulder, thigh, as well as the wrist, hand and fingers. It provides information on a range of conditions such as ankle sprains and sciatica, as well as exercises to help alleviate symptoms that need movement and strength. Laura added, "Many MSK injuries or conditions are not serious, but they can be painful. NHS Inform's MSK resources includes guidance on appropriate self-care so you can safely manage the problem at home. Each page also has advice on when to look for further help if you need it. For more information, visit www.nhsinform.scot/MSK-help. Recruitment drive by Scottish Water. Scottish Water is starting a major recruitment campaign to hire 60 apprentices across the country. The utility company is launching its biggest ever drive for modern, technical and graduate apprentices. Opportunities are available in project management, engineering, water treatment, electrical and mechanical, science, property and estates and business administration. The campaign has been timed to coincide with Scottish Apprenticeship Week from March the 6th to the 10th. Linda Brown, Scottish Water Strategic Resourcing Manager, said, "We'll help apprentices reach their full potential by giving them first-class training. We'll invest in their development and they'll earn nationally recognised qualifications. Candidates can apply at https://scotishwater.wd3.myworkdayjobs.com/external careers until April the 2nd.
District News. Churches. Kirkintilloch Church of God. At Regent Hall, Regent Street, every Wednesday our coffee corner is open from noon to 2 p.m. for home baking and coffee. Join our friends and neighbours for a chat over coffee. On Sunday there will be a Zoom service at 6:30 p.m. The speaker this week will be Adrian Goodgrove from Stoke-on-Trent. A warm invitation to everyone who is able to join us on Zoom. Access details can be obtained by emailing hello@regenthall.org. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. The Bible says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him." Psalm 34, verse 8. St Columba's Hillhead Church. St Columba's Hillhead Church has two sites, St Columba's and Hillhead. Do join us for our Sunday morning service at St Columba's at 10 a.m. or at Hillhead at 11:30 a.m. Tea, coffee and juice are served after the service at St Columba's and before the service at Hillhead. We'd love to meet you there, but if you really can't come in person, you can still connect with us by livestream via www.kirkintillochstcolumbus.org.uk or by searching for St Columba's Hillhead Kirkintilloch on YouTube. We have a shorter midweek service at St Columba's on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. We are offering free hot drinks and biscuits at our weekly warm welcome at Hillhead, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Wednesday afternoons. Call in if you can. Reverend Philip Wright, Minister, St Columba's Hillhead Church, Old L Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 3HQ, and 2 Rosebank Avenue, Kirkintilloch, G66 2PR. P. Wright at churchofscotland.org.uk. Mobile 07427 623 393. St David's Memorial Church. At St David's Memorial Park Church, our Sunday morning service on March the 12th will be at 10:30 a.m. All are welcome to attend our service. During the service, school-aged children will have the opportunity to go through to our halls with the leaders of JAM for their own time of fun and learning. Our Tuesday lunchtime service will be held each Tuesday from noon in our small hall. Our next service will be March the 14th. All are welcome to attend this afternoon service. On the same day, our guild will meet in the hall from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. The speaker is Bill Keane, and he will be showing a photographic presentation. Again, you are warmly invited to come along to the church. The church has commenced with a warm space event. This will continue on Mondays in 2023. The church will be open from noon to 4 p.m. All are welcome to come along. Volunteers are needed to support this event. If you can offer some time and support, please contact the church through the Facebook page. Our next Saturday, at @SDMP, will be on March the 25th from 10 a.m. to noon. This is a free event for all primary aged children where they will be involved in arts and crafts. Please see a detail on our Facebook page for contact details on how to register for this event. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector the Reverend Paul Watson, 0141 230 4080. There is a communion service in the chapel on Thursday, March the 9th at 11 a.m. and on Sunday, March the 12th at 9 a.m. The 10:30 a.m. communion service with hymns on Sunday is in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea or coffee and fellowship afterwards. Tuesdays at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Tuesday, March the 14th. Their Tuesday club lunch and illustrated talk on Dahlias by Audrey Alexander Allen. Why not come along for food and companionship? There are also other virtual services and groups. For up-to-date and further information, refer to our social media. Facebook, St James LS Bishopbriggs. Website, www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. Springfield Cambridge Church. Morning worship will be on Sunday, March the 12th, which will be led by Reverend Ian Taylor and Mrs. Julie Harty in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. The Sunday school meets in room 2. There is also a creche facility where we will be happy to look after your child, birth to 3 years, in room 2. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. Tea and coffee will be available after church in room 1. There will be a vestry hour on Wednesday, March the 8th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for anyone wishing to talk with the minister. There will be a short weekly service of worship in the Springfield Chapel on Wednesday, March the 8th from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m, after which tea and coffee will be available in the Hall of Fellowship. Tickets for the Guild Hostess Tea on Monday, March the 13th, are now available from committee members, price £5. Magazine articles for the March edition of the Record should be sent to Marion Ray, the editor, by Sunday, March the 12th. Home Church, Scotland, Lammermuir Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 2AB. They shall sing of the ways of the Lord. Psalm 138 verse 5. One church, 3 locations. Kirkintilloch, Stornoway and online. A church for all ages. Saturdays, warm space, warm welcome, warm meal at 6:30 p.m. All welcome. Sunday, March the 12th, 9:30 a.m. communion. 10 a.m. prayer meeting followed by refreshments. 11 a.m. worship service, children's church and creche followed by refreshments. Tuesdays, engine room, prayer and teaching from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, mothers and babies at 10 a.m. Home group for prayer and Bible study. Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. or Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Fridays, youth fellowship at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, March 18th, marriage conference 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. See Facebook and Instagram for up-to-date information. Lenzie Union Parish Church. You are warmly invited to Holy Communion on Sunday, March the 12th at 11 a.m. There is tea and coffee in the new hall after the service. Young people are also welcome to Lighthouse and Bible class. A live stream of the service is available on YouTube via our website. There will be an evening service at 7 p.m. in the new hall. D Cafe is on Monday, March the 13th from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the new hall. Information, entertainment and a time to relax and chat for those living with dementia. Bring a friend or carer. The Meeting Place coffee shop is open on Wednesdays 10 a.m. to noon in the new hall. Meet your friends and enjoy a chat over a cup of tea or coffee. Everyone, from the very young to young at heart, is welcome to attend. We also have a good selection of greetings cards and second-hand books for sale. The Drop-In Youth Cafe on Thursdays at 3:45 p.m. to 5 p.m. is a place where young people can hang out, relax and have a good time. Each week there is a free snack, with lots of different things to do, such as games consoles, table tennis, arts and craft, board games and more. The coffee pot is open on Fridays 10 a.m. to noon in the new hall for teas, coffee and chat. Saturday, March the 18th, there is Messy Church at 4 p.m. in the new hall. All welcome. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, March the 12th will begin at 11 a.m. and be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. The young people will meet in the church halls for age-appropriate activities. Wednesday welcome will take place on Wednesday, March the 8th, beginning at 10 a.m. to noon. A short service will be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison at 11:30 a.m. Kenmure Parish Church. The Thursday morning tea room has started its spring run from 10:30 till noon. All are welcome to come along and enjoy some tea, coffee and home baking, along with a lively chat with old and new friends in a warm and friendly atmosphere. Our warm welcome hub is open on Fridays from noon until 3 p.m, providing a warm, safe place with free hot soup, coffee, tea, etc. to all those who might enjoy some fellowship each week. This is open to all, not just members of the congregation. This week's Sunday service at 11 a.m. will be led by George Reid and Jim Wright. A warm welcome awaits. Details of all our groups on our website kenmure-church.co.uk or find us on Facebook. To join our WhatsApp group or receive the Bible studies from ABC, email kenmurechurch@icloud.com. Colston Well Park Church. You are welcome on Sunday at 11 a.m. The service will be led by Reverend Leslie Grieve. Tea and coffee served in the hall afterwards. The Colston Art Club is on Monday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. All budding artists welcome. Contact 07709 584 680. Join us on Wednesday at Cake and Company from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for a time of friendly chat, and remember it's free. The food bank continues and is open every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sincere thanks to all who generously give of their time and donate foodstuffs. Follow our church services on Facebook, @Coltonwell Park Parish Church. For details on all activities, call Leslie Grieve on 07813 255 052. Torrens Parish Church. The morning service, in person, is at 10:30 a.m, conducted by the Reverend Stuart Irwin. During the service, the youngsters meet together in creche, junior church and FROG. To join the service online, go to www.torrensparishchurch.online.church. The cafe is open every Wednesday 9 a.m. to noon for tea and coffee and delicious home baking. Why not come and taste for yourself? The prayer ministry team will also be available from 10:30 a.m. to noon. The Girls Brigade meet on Wednesdays at 6:15 to 8:15 p.m, P1 to S6, and the Boys Brigade meet on Thursday 7 to 9 p.m, P7 to S6. The Peter Pan Pantomime is on March the 24th and March the 25th. Visit www.eventbrite.co.uk for tickets. For what's on, visit www.tpc.org.uk. Milton of Campsie Church. Last Sunday we were honoured to welcome the Right Reverend Dr. Ian Greenshields along with his wife and family. Ian filled in the reflection slot at morning worship. The family were then treated to a packed lunch before joining the children and leaders at Lionissimo. Thanks to all those who sent pics of themselves wearing L plates. Next week, send us a photo of yourself using water. Time to pray is at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday. Warm Spaces Hub is on Monday at 1 p.m. To volunteer and or for more information, contact Anne Pert, annpert56@gmail.com or 01360 313 003. Also on Mondays, Baby and Toddler Group at 9:45 a.m, Hobbies Club at 2 p.m, Badminton Club at 7:30 p.m. Using Christian Aid envelopes, we are supporting the DEC appeal for Turkey and Syria. District News General, 8th of March 2023. Jack needs active owners. Jack is a 3-year-old border collie. He loves spending time outdoors with his loved ones. He's a playful dog who's eager to learn new tricks. Jack is looking for active owners who can keep up with his fun energy and provide him with plenty of exercise and adventure. He would love to have a garden where he can spend time off lead and keep himself busy, playing games. Jack can live with children aged 16 and above and would like to be the only pet in the home. He would prefer his new owners to have had collie types before, who can build a trusting bond with him. Jack is a well-behaved boy who will bring endless joy and fun to his new owner's life with his affectionate nature and playful spirit. Call West Calder Rehoming Centre on 01506 873 459. Heart of the Matter. Putting Old Doctors' Experience to Use by Dr. Frank Dunn. In many parts of the world, senior retired medics, aka old doctors, teach medical students to their mutual benefit. The old docs have a lifetime of experiences to share, and the students keep the minds of their seniors sharp. This is an untapped resource for teaching the ever-increasing number of students now being accepted by universities. I am pleased to say that, over the past few months, the University of Glasgow has engaged the assistant of senior medics to teach clinical skills. I was happy to volunteer, and have now completed a number of such teaching sessions. This week it was the first year students, and the topic was examination of the heart. I was in my comfort zone, and the stethoscope was duly dusted down in advance. The students were attentive and appeared keen to hear my philosophy and anecdotes relating to my time as a doctor. The examination begins with an observation. A simple question to ask is, does the patient look unwell? This can be missed in the rush to get tests done. Other aspects to observe are breathlessness, poor colour and general appearance. The examination then moves to the hands and the pulse. The pulse is important for the obvious reasons, but also as it establishes a point of contact with the patient. It is almost like a handshake and the establishment of the doctor-patient relationship. I was amazed at how few students carry a watch, since the pulse rate is key. Estimating it can be an inexact science. Thereafter, the pulse is assessed for a regular or irregular rhythm. The next step is examination of the pulsations in the veins and arteries at the neck, followed by examination of the face and mouth. In days gone by, most adults had dentures or wallies. Dental caries were rife due to the combination of poor dental hygiene and a sugary diet. There were cardiac implications to this, in that organisms from the teeth could escape into the circulation and infect the heart valves. This is why examination of the mouth is so important. We then moved to examination of the heart. For me, this was an enjoyable experience and the students seemed undaunted regarding the current NHS challenges. I use every opportunity to tell them that a medical career can be both stimulating, fulfilling, as well as a privilege to care for others when they are at their most vulnerable. And that was the Heart of the Matter column by Dr. Frank Dunn. Love is Blind. Are you looking for love? Hit Netflix dating show Love is Blind has arrived in the UK and is looking for applicants. Love is Blind UK will follow single contestants attempting to find love by taking part in a social experiment where we will find out if love is truly blind. Wanting to be loved for who they are rather than what they look like, our singles will step up to our bespoke pods to talk to a host about potential love interests without distractions from the outside world, in the hope of building a meaningful connection. Will they discover that real love is indeed blind? If you are interested in applying to this series, please do so at www.shortaudition.com/loveisblinduk. Society of Antiquaries. On March the 2nd, the Antiquaries welcomed James Kennedy from King Lockhart, who gave a lively talk on It Started with Rob Roy, Early Filmmaking in the Trossachs, 1911 to 1953. James had been our last speaker before the COVID lockdown in March 2023, when he gave a grimly prophetic talk on the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 to 19. Tonight's talk was on a much more pleasant topic. The rise of the Trossachs as a tourist destination was sparked by the publication of Sir Walter Scott's novel Rob Roy in 1817, and several adaptations of the tale were filmed in the Trossachs in the first half of the 20th century. The first was a 45-minute silent version, filmed in July 1911 near Aberfoyle. Although it was very popular at the time, the film has not survived. The next version, also silent, was filmed in June and July 1922, mostly near Aberfoyle, with a battle scene in Inversnaid. This received very good reviews and has survived, enjoying a renaissance in recent years. James played a short clip from it. The largest production filmed in the Trossachs was the 1953 colour version, starring Richard Todd as Rob and Glynis Jones as Helen, which was very successful commercially. The filming involved building a castle near Aberfoyle, a fort at Inversnaid, and a graveyard at Lochard, but there is nothing left to see now. A number of locals were employed as extras, and James gave descriptions of several of them and played a recording of Wilf and Margaret Luke talking about their experiences, which were clearly very, very enjoyable and profitable. The talk was greatly enjoyed by a large audience.
East Dunbartonshire Visually Impaired People's Forum, Ed VIP. If you know someone who is blind or visually impaired, a warm welcome awaits them in the Park Centre in Kerr Street, Kirkintilloch. We meet every Wednesday at 10 until 11:30 a.m. We chat over tea, cake, etc. and support each other to achieve their maximum independence. There are regular speakers, craft groups and events. Public notices. Planning notices. East Dunbartonshire Council Public Notices. Civic Government (Scotland Act 1982). Application for renewal of second-hand dealer licence. The undernoted has applied for the renewal of a second-hand dealer licence in terms of the above Act. Name and address of applicant: Daz Tech Limited,
104A Cowgate, Kirkintilloch, G66 1JU. Day-to-day manager, Fiona Calcan, 1 Burn-on Place, Rebroyston, G33 1RX. Premises, Daz Tech Limited, 104A Cowgate, Kirkintilloch, G66 1JU. Trading days and hours of business, Monday to Saturday, 9 AM until 5:30 PM. Goods, mobile phones, iPads, tablets, laptops, PCs, consoles, and all electronic devices. Any objections or representations in terms of paragraph 3, brackets 1 of Schedule 1 of the Act should be logged with the undernoted no later than 28 days from the publication date of the newspaper in which this advertisement appears. Deputy Chief Executive, Education, People and Business, East Bartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Members' surgeries. Councillors' arrangements for interviewing residents. Ward 7, Kirkintilloch East and North and Twecker, Councillor Stuart MacDonald. 15th of March 2023. Twecker Healthy Living and Enterprise Centre, 5:30 PM until 6 PM. 15th of March 2023. Hillhead Community Centre, 6:15 PM until 6:45 PM. Between surgeries, councillors can be contacted at the Members' Support Unit on 0300 1234510. That phone number again is 0300 1234510. Planning applications. TP/ED/23/0088, 18 to 20 Alexandra Street, Kirkintilloch, East Bartonshire. Re-roofing of 18 and 20 Alexandra Street with slate roof tiles, Section 65, affecting CA, 21 days. TP/ED/23/0093, 10 Park Avenue, Kirkintilloch, East Bartonshire, G66 1EY. Replacement roof slates, Section 65, affecting CA, 21 days. The application plans and other documents can be viewed online through the Council's website. The current restrictions on non-essential office work associated with the coronavirus pandemic means that plans cannot be viewed in the Council offices as normal. Written comments may be made within the above period to the Council through the Council's website, or to the above address. Any representations will be treated as public documents and made available for inspection by interested parties, and may also be published on the Council's website. GVOL, Goods Vehicle Operators Licence. David William John Emery and Carol Emery, trading as Emery Transport of Alton Farm, Milton of Campsie, Glasgow, G66 8AB, is applying for a licence to use Alton Farm, Milton of Campsie, Glasgow, G66 8AB, as an operating centre for 2 goods vehicles and 0 trailers. Owners or occupiers of land, including buildings near the operating centre, who believe their use or enjoyment of that land would be affected, should make written representations to the Traffic Commissioner at Hillcrest House, 386 Hare Hills Lane, Leeds, LS9 6NF, stating their reasons within 21 days of this notice. Representers must at the same time send a copy of their representations to the applicant at the address given at the top of this notice. A guide to making representations is available from the Traffic Commissioner's office. Page per Hurt in French Crash. An article by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. New Glasgow Tigers rider Theo Pidgeper was rushed to hospital after being involved in a horror crash at an event in France last week. The 16-year-old was representing Great Britain in the national team championship at the track in Morezes. According to reports, Pidgeper made a great start to the race, but was left behind by Mathieu Trésorieux at the exit of the second corner. The Frenchman tried to push the advantage by driving under his rival, and contact was made. Pidgeper fell dangerously and was knocked unconscious. The teenager was rushed to hospital suffering from a concussion. He underwent an MRI scan, which was all clear, and after spending time in intensive care, was released. His mum, Carrie, told the Tigers website, "Ace is fairly battered and bruised all over. He was unconscious for quite a while on the track. He's obviously suffered a heavy concussion, but had an MRI scan, which thankfully was all clear. It was a big crash, but certainly not his fault. He was leading the race, but Mathieu Trésorieux came across from the white line and wiped him out completely. Ace got caught up in his bike. It spun round and he was left a passenger as it threw him off up the straight. We are naturally just relieved nothing was broken and no permanent damage. Ace will have to rest up for a couple of weeks, but after seeing the crash, it was worry it could have been a lot worse. It's not the most ideal preparation for the season. Hopefully he can recover quickly and be okay before the end of March." Pidgeper was due to start the season at Ashfield as part of the reserve partnership with the experienced Lee Coplin. Tigers team manager Cammy Brown said, "We know that it was a bad one for Ace, so our thoughts right now are with him making a full recovery." Glasgow will start the season on April 7th as they travel to Armadale Stadium to meet their biggest rivals Edinburgh Monarch in the BSN series. That article was written by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. Gambling's cash has no place in football. An article by Brian Yule and read by me, Corey. Glasgow City has been featured in a BBC Alba documentary examining advertising and sponsorship by gambling companies in football. For the last year, City has been supporting the Big Steps campaign to end all gambling advertising and sponsorship in football. The Big Step is a campaign led by people harmed by gambling and is part of the charity Gambling with Lives. James Grimes, who founded the Big Step after being addicted to gambling for 12 years, said, "Glasgow City is a fantastic club that is setting a great example for others to follow. There is no justification to use football to promote gambling in front of young people." City refuses to accept sponsorship from gambling companies and has joined more than 30 clubs in signing up for the campaign, including the likes of Partick Thistle, Tranmere Rovers, Luton Town, Forest Green Rovers and FC Edinburgh. Club director Carol Ann Stewart told Europa, "As a football club, we would like to have a positive impact gambling on our community, so we don't really associate gambling as having a positive impact. The negative impacts of gambling are huge. They can spiral people's personal circumstances into dreadful situations. We approached the Big Step because it fitted in with our criteria for keeping with clean sponsorship, and it really appealed to us that they were active in trying to push gambling advertising out of the game. We'll be involved in all the campaigns and working with them in any way we can to get the message out there." On the pitch, City moved 6 points clear at the top of the SWPL 1 with back-to-back wins in the last week. Last Wednesday, March 1st, they won 3-0 at home to Motherwell as Emily Whelan opened the scoring before Lauren Davidson grabbed a brace. Then on Sunday, it was a visit to nearest rivals Celtic, coming away with a 1-0 victory, as Princella Chinchilla's cool finish from Mayred Fulton pass after 65 minutes, proving to be the difference between the two sides. This weekend will be the final round of fixtures before the league split as City play host to Glasgow Women on Sunday. That article was written by Brian Newell and read by me, Corey. Tartan Touch keeps growing. Scottish Rugby has announced the return of non-contract rugby programme Papa John's Tartan Touch, with a record number of hubs. Running between May and July, Tartan Touch is designed to provide a simplified version of the sport with the aim of attracting players of all abilities, ages and levels of experience, who are looking to improve their fitness, begin their rugby journey, or return to the sport through simple and social activity. This year's programme will see 70 clubs operate as Tartan Touch hubs throughout the summer, with 22 newly established hubs including Allenglens and Bishopbriggs. Each Tartan Touch hub will be supported by their regional manager and Scottish Rugby Tartan Touch operational team. Support will include provision of kit and equipment to help transform the club into a Tartan Touch hub, as well as marketing support including a Tartan Touch nationwide marketing campaign and promotional toolkit. Since 2018, the number of hubs and clubs across Scotland has more than doubled, from the original 30 selected, and previous seasons of the programme have seen hubs across the country welcoming over 4,000 players aged 5 to 75 years old, from having never played rugby to retired players. Scottish Rugby's Director of Rugby Development, Gavin Scott, said, "It's really pleasing to see more clubs than ever before taking part in our Tartan Touch programme. To see that clubs are still keen to return year after year, while others are excited to get on board, is great news for the game in Scotland. Tartan Touch is an excellent way for clubs to connect with their local community and allow people from all ages, abilities and backgrounds enjoy the physical and mental benefits of playing rugby in a fun and inclusive environment. We are of course delighted to continue our partnership with Papa John's as the programme's title sponsor. Commitment to the grassroots game supports our rugby communities across the country. For more information, visit www.tartantouch.org or follow at tartan_touch on Twitter. Petershill moved out of the relegation zone with win. Petershill moved out of the relegation zone in the WOS Premier Division with a 1-0 win away to high-flying Irvine Meadow. Lennon Houston scored the only goal of the game 3 minutes before the break. Ben Cappy picked up the ball on the edge of his own box and drove forward, playing a 1-2, and then released Houston to drill the ball into the net. In the same division, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy were looking to make it 10 points out of 12, as they travelled to Pollock, but suffered a 6-2 defeat. Petershill are at home to Troon on Saturday, while Rob Roy host at Clydebank. Rossvale won 3-1 win away to Blantyre Victoria in the First Division, as Connor Hamilton scored a hat-trick. His first game was an audacious effort from out wide. He aided a second from the penalty spot and finished off with a bicycle kick. Rossvale were away to Drumchapel United last night, and then visit Whitlets Victoria on Saturday. Ashfield and Glasgow Pershore both recorded victories to keep up their promotion pushes in the Second Division. Greg Burns scrambled in the opener to give Ashfield the lead at half-time, as they travelled to our dear Thistle. The home side would draw level in the second half, but substitute Kerr Miller headed in a dramatic 94th minute winner. Pershore won 3-1 away to Wishaw with goals from Craig Munro, Babukar Musa and Brogan Daly. Ashfield host St Roch's in the WOS Cup on Saturday, while Pershore are at home to St Anthony's in the league. Rossville Academy won 4-2 at home to Islington and are away to Thorn Athletic on Saturday. West Park United weren't in action but have recruited striker Ben Daly on loan from St Roch's ahead of their top-of-the-table clash with Kilsyth Athletic. Rossville women won 2-0 away to Morton in the SWFL Championship with goals from Emma Rogers and Alexandra Strike. Was postponed. Rossville host Dryborough Athletic on Sunday, while West Park are at home to Alloa Athletic.
That concludes this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch Herald podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our channels at Hume Review and to tell your friends about our service.